Are you obsessed with food and hungry all the time? Maybe you're experiencing starvation symptoms, and maybe you're not underweight, so you don't trust these signals or believe it's true. And it might be because you have atypical anorexia nervosa. In this episode, I'm going to talk all about atypical anorexia, the signs, the symptoms, and how it shows up regularly inside the therapy room. I'm Harriet Frew. This is the Eating Disorder Therapist podcast. Thank you so much for being here. I support people to overcome disordered eating and find peace with food. Thanks for being here, and do check out my Food Freedom app if you're looking for more support. Tons of great resources there. So let's dive in. So what is atypical anorexia nervosa? Atypical anorexia nervosa is an eating disorder, and a severe one at that. You will experience all the symptoms of anorexia, things like rapid weight loss, restriction of food and overactivity, loss of menstrual periods in females, loss of sex drive, feeling cold, poor concentration, tiredness and exhaustion, high anxiety and low mood, extreme preoccupation with food, distorted body image, social withdrawal, low blood pressure, fainting, dizziness, low bone density and risk of osteoporosis, nutritional deficiencies, gastrointestinal symptoms, thinning or loss of hair, low heart rate and or blood pressure. But your weight will appear normal and healthy by the cultural ideal. Now, this means that your body mass index, your BMI, will not be alarmingly low as seen in anorexia nervosa. Now, because of this, it's a confusing condition, as your friends and family will probably praise you for achieving a thin physique and will ask you for your weight loss tips and tricks. However, you are actually extremely ill. In fact, you'll be starving, your body will be suffering, and you'll think about food all day long, because this is not a healthy weight for you. Your natural set point is genetically higher, perhaps because you're taller, larger boned, or more muscular than what is average. Now, this is not a crime. This is diversity of body shapes, but you will probably feel that there is something wrong with you because of the world will have reflected this back to you from your childhood and from a young age. So atypical anorexia is extremely common, but hard to diagnose. It is supremely misunderstood because it doesn't look like an eating disorder. It often appears as a healthy, clean eating regime or intermittent fasting or diet discipline. Now, many of my clients oscillate between periods of atypical anorexia nervosa, very strict dieting, and then out of control binge eating in the months in between. And they consider that they're just not disciplined enough, rather than appreciating that their dietary regime is simply unsustainable and that they are extremely hungry. And because of this, it's often missed as well by doctors and medical professionals. Your weight is fine, they say, so you can't possibly have an eating disorder. But this is long outdated information. Even back in 2003, Fairbairn and Harrison identified that 85% of people with eating disorders are not underweight. Now, many of these people will meet a specific diagnosis, probably of bulimia nervosa, binge eating disorder, or OSFED, other specified feeding and eating disorder. Now, atypical anorexia nervosa falls under that OSFED umbrella of diagnosis, and it is becoming increasingly prevalent. And I don't think that the GLP-1s are helping, because for some people, I would argue that the drugs could place them within an atypical anorexia diagnosis, because they're in fact starving and experiencing weight loss that is far beyond their set point and well-being for their body. But again, society normalizes this and places it all on the pedestal of achievement. Now, I see the backlash in the therapy room as people come off the drugs for health or financial reasons, resulting in an avalanche of food noise and excruciating body image distress. If you relate, get support. If you identify yourself here, offer yourself deep kindness, compassion, and understanding, because you've probably been struggling for a long time and feeling incredibly isolated and alone. Atypical anorexia is increasingly recognized now and understood as a valid condition. So take your symptoms seriously and reach out to get the help you deserve. Remember that 85% of people with eating disorders are not underweight. Have you experienced atypical anorexia nervosa? Do share in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you. And what do you think? Have you struggled with atypical anorexia nervosa yourself? Would love to hear from you. Let's reduce the shame. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening and watching the Eating Disorder Therapist podcast. Do subscribe on YouTube for more videos. Do follow, rate, and review if you're listening on the audio platforms. Thank you so much for listening. Do check out my Food Freedom app if you're looking for more support. And I look forward to sharing another episode with you very soon. Bye for now.